Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Challenger Playoff Season X Grand Finals. I'm joined again in the casting booth by Astro, and I must admit that first game was absolutely riveting. You know, we've got Ximtra coming through, we've just seen, right? Have you watched Nootz play so far?
I watched them play a little bit earlier on. I watched some of the game earlier on that went all the way to game 7. Who were they? Was it at the Astro Allegiance game? I think it was. Yeah, that was the one. Or maybe it was game 6, actually. Apologies. But yeah, it was the Astro Allegiance game where, to be honest, they had a few rough games, but generally they look really solid. And to be honest, I wouldn't expect anything different from most of the players on this team. Ethereal, Tinny, Freddy, who's subbed out at the minute, and Yellow Crab already won IEL twice. Really shows you what he's capable of. I think Ethereal played at least one season in Master, maybe 2 seasons in Master. I'm not sure. I think Tinny's been up in Master at some point as well. They're a good team. They've got a lot of good players, and I'd expect them to be causing Ximtra some problems in this grand final.
They wouldn't be in the grand final if they weren't a good team, Astro. I mean, that's expert insight, I must say. But if you're not the greatest team, you're probably not going to be in the grand final. Now, you mentioned Freddy. Freddy, I believe, started playing today and then subbed out because I think he thought he wasn't playing up to the scratch the team needed, but the team found themselves in the grand final. What do you think about that decision?
I think you got to do what you got to do. Whoever's playing best should be playing, regardless of what DSN they are, how good they think they are. If they're in form, then they should be playing, and I think it's probably the smart decision in this case. Can we briefly talk about the Samurai there who just came in through? I think it was a flip reset towards the net. That would have been a great way to get things started for Ximtra, but it didn't quite happen. But this game is off to a very quick start already.
Yeah, it's been back and forth quite a few times. A shot coming in from Samurai, as you mentioned. Hell and Dr. Med having to sort of backtrack there to get rid of the ball. Ethereal just not letting anything, just wants to touch the ball, wants the ball under his control so that he can do what he wants for Nootz. Tinny has the flip reset, but he's unable to get the scoop required as it heads back down into the middle. No one going. Tinny onto the backboard. Crab up, looking for the pass. Don't know if he was looking for the shot initially, but Ethereal will manage to maintain the pressure into the corner. Yellow Crab gets a couple of touches. The Doctor's a bit awkward, but gets a nice flick to keep it where he wants it in that corner. Nootz coming out fairly strong, you know, and you could argue that Ximtra are fairly hot right now, Astro.
You could. I think I was going to say, if we went to predictions, I probably would have gone with Nootz, just based on Ximtra. You know, they got the job done on RL Island towards the end of that last series, but they had a couple of shaky games, didn't they? And it almost seemed like, you know, they used their best in the first few games of that series, and there you go. Nootz going to get the opening goal, and of all people, the man who subbed in, Yellow Crab, taking charge for the first goal of the series.
Yeah, again, Ethereal proving a key player there. He just wants to touch the ball. The man is holding B. In fact, he's got no B button down. It's glued down. Ethereal just getting as many touches as possible. Opens the scoring for his well, opens up the back line, and Yellow Crab will open the scoring. But again, you're going to have to shut this down if you're Ximtra. You know, they're basically where RLI were at the start of, you know, the last series. They're under a heap of pressure from this Nootz side, and they just need to get their own moments of pressure and make sure they keep those back doors closed, Astro.
Yeah, let's see what they can do though. I'm looking forward to this. I think Nootz have got to be the stronger side, and they've certainly come out like that so far. 5 shots. Here comes Ethereal again, finds the flip reset, but doesn't make contact with the ball after doing so. They certainly could be a couple of goals up. It's interesting if Ximtra will manage to get any counter-attacks going forward. I think Dr. Med was looking for hell there in the middle, but Samurai's picked him out down the far end anyway. This one's dropping quite low. There's a free jump there from Samurai, ends up opting against it. And so far, the Nootz defense holding strong, and there's not really many cracks appearing. It's finding proving a difficult one to break down so far for Ximtra.
Yeah, they are enjoying some of the pressure. Ximtra trying to find a goal to bring them even on the scoreline. Tinny going to look for the second. 2 players on the backboard for Ximtra. Doctor being one of them will get the touch as Hell and Samurai. There is a few double commits coming out for this Ximtra side, but Nootz are coming forward. Ethereal has the ball under his control again. He keeps it in the corner. Tinny with a 50 on Samurai will get control of the ball. Doctor's there as well. It's popped into the middle for Yellow Crab. It's going to come straight down, but Samurai again. It's just constant defense at the moment for Ximtra. I mean, the only good thing is the fact that they've only got 1 goal to find at the moment, Astro.
Yeah, I think it always gives you a chance. You know, you've got to keep it keep it in with a chance, and a goal can come out of anywhere in Rocket League. You know that, I know that. It can happen all the time, and I think that's important. Nootz can have all this pressure, but we've seen great teams crumble before when they give away a silly chance just because they didn't take all the chances they had available to them earlier on. And could be the case in this game with Nootz, you know, dominating it, like you say, but... Sorry, I had to sneeze there. Only a single goal, and they got to start delivering more quickly. I think they need a second or third at least to be safe in case Ximtra come back down the other field. Dr. Med, we know what he can do with those counter-attacks, and I'm hopeful that Ximtra can generate something in this final minute.
Yeah, Nootz just definitely seem to be the aggressors in this game so far. Dr. will get a fortunate touch, maintaining the pressure. But again, just Ethereal has been a thorn in the side at the moment. You know, if he's not looking for the ball, he's looking for a bump. This Crab does have to do some defensive work, but at the moment, Nootz, you know, they seem to be playing smarter when they're in possession of the ball, rather than playing a more aggressive play style. I'll say Ethereal just seems to be an angry man, to be honest. He's looking for the bumps, but they seem to be smarter in what they're doing. They're trying to ping in some mechanics when they're the only one on the ball, and at the moment, Ximtra have 30 seconds to find a goal, and what looked like a pre-jump coming out from hell is not going to help them. And the Yellow Crab looking for a pop shot, but Doctor will be there, and as long as the ball's in this half, it's not going to do anything for Ximtra. Ethereal slowing it down, managing to get a touch past one. Tinny having to go up for this one. It's into the corner. Samurai into the middle, gets the 50. Ethereal awkward on the line, but he will just take it away with no boost. And Yellow Crab up to meet it if the ball falls. He fakes out the touch, and Nootz will take game one.
There was the chance. It came and it went. You know, it came in the final few seconds as Samurai forced the ball onto the goal line before Ethereal turned it away. And they had to have somebody there. You know, you've got to have Hell or Dr. Med on that goal line in the final few seconds. You've got nothing to lose. Both of them still sat back playing it cautiously. That could have been the equaliser in the dying seconds, and instead it goes to waste. You have to say Nootz probably deserved the win. They were the better side and had majority of the pressure, but they by no means put the game out of reach, and Ximtra definitely could have got themselves within stretching distance of winning that one.
Yeah, I think for as one-sided as that game certainly looked from my point of view, to keep the scoreline just down to the one means that you only really need that one opportunity to take the game for either side. Nootz proved the beneficiary of the goal in the last game. You know, we've got a fresh game. Ximtra is still hot off their last series. They just need to make sure that they can potentially tighten up the back post rotation as a couple of misplays comes out and they get the ball downfield. I think they will be looking for the opening goal this time, but they have to play quick if they're going to get past this Nootz side. This ball is pinching back and forth, actually. It's going side to side, forward, back. No one taking real control like there was in game one.
Yeah, I got to say, I give a bit of credit to Dr. Med for making that save at the start of the game with Ethereal charging towards him and a defender in the box in a 2v1 situation. To get out of that with a good save and get it downfield was really great work. Tinny trying to carry it all the way through as well. And so far, it's all Nootz pressure. Hell's yet to get a touch on the ball in the first 40 seconds. As Dr. Med and Samurai combining again to find it forward and up the field. They've got to beat Tinny, though. This one could come out nicely if they can get a challenge. A triple commit from all three players on Nootz, but it somehow comes out in their favour. It ends up right in the Ximtra corner.
Yeah, if you're going to triple commit, make sure you do it properly, as seen by Nootz. I mean, this ball's just drifting. This is what I'm talking about. A change in pace in the game. Not just, you know, absolutely stressing to hit the ball, you know, changing the pace. I've seen Ethereal do it a couple of times where he takes the ball on top of his car just to take it downfield, almost carry it with his hands. I mean, you mentioned Hell yet to get a touch. We're a minute and 20 seconds in. Nootz have an opening goal, and the Yellow Crab is yet to score a point.
Absolutely mental. Hell's only got 6 as well. You have to think that, you know, Nootz haven't dominated so far. They've had a bit more of the ball, but there's not been many shots. It's a good angle, like you say in there, from Tinny, but one shot from Tinny, one from Ethereal. That's really it. It's not crazy pressure like we saw in the previous one, but Yellow Crab, like you say, not really getting involved, leaving his two teammates up to the task, and it's still proving quite a defensive job at the moment from Ximtra. Here's Dr. Med, though. If he can get a goal back, that will build some confidence as a demo in the midfield. Hell's too far forward. Makes the shot a pretty easy save from Tinny, and it's little details like that, I think, Zucro, where they've just got to be a little bit better in terms of having a player in the right place to really make the most of that opportunity when it comes.
This is what I'm saying. Tinny just holding up the play because Ximtra is unable to get control of the ball in the midfield. But one thing I do want to touch on is the 50s that are coming out. At the moment, I don't think Nootz have lost a 50-50 anywhere on the pitch. If anything, it's stayed absolutely still, which you would call a stalemate. Ethereal in particular definitely showing the street smarts when it comes to Rocket League at the moment. That yellow crab trying to get it up and over the Doctor. You don't do that without first buying a ticket. Samurai will get it down at field. Ethereal has to meet it into the corner. Tinny good backtracking. 2.5 minutes. Again, only one goal, Astro. I don't know if I feel another goal coming.
Wow. It's certainly looking like Ximtra's best chance, but Tinny's just not going to let it through, is he? An absolute brick wall at the back is denying anything coming his way. The cement is fully fixed together, but they'll get a few more opportunities if Hell can keep this one under control. They've got to start winning this aerial battle a little bit better. There are 2 players going up here from Ximtra. Samurai takes it off of Med, and still the chance comes astray. Hell with a follow-up again. Can they get this one down finally into the back of the net? Ximtra back on the score sheet.
Yes, exactly what we want to be seeing. Ximtra knocking at those doors like they were against RLI, but the Doctor, the man that you would expect to stand up and be counted for in a series like this, pulling Ximtra alongside him at the moment. Samurai and the Yellow Club struggling. Who knew IEL did 2v2s? Astro, to be honest. Doctor looking for a flip reset off the ceiling. Hell gonna get a pop shot, but it can only be directed towards Ethereal. Struggling! The Doctor coming in again. Ximtra take the lead in game 2.
Needed a couple of goals on the prescription from the Doctor, and that's exactly what's been delivered. Straight into the back of the net. Lovely stuff. And Duke's been broken down by those balls pouncing off of the inside of the post, and nobody dealing with them quick enough. And he's first man to it. He's had his health check. He's up to speed, and he's there at first every time. Ximtra nicely in charge now, and that leaves a little bit of concern for Nootz, I think, coming into this final minute now.
Yeah, I think it does. The Doctor definitely leading the charge. Just showing his team how he expects them to play. Ethereal fake jump in this one. It's going to pop high in the box. Oh my god, what a pre-flip in off the post. Finally, the ball drifting there. Ethereal with the pre-flip levels it up for Nootz.
You can't be letting him having that kind of chance. The touch from Hell. I can see him trying to pick out a teammate across the other side of his own net, but he's such a risky player, especially in a grand final, trying to pass it to your teammate in front of your own net. Just wait, take control of the ball, find it in a much less pressured situation, because a player like Ethereal is going to take full advantage, and a good pre-flip and a difficult one it was, but a fantastic goal. And now Ximtra, wow, they look great. They look like they've had the best chances so far in this game, so far for the series, but Nootz equally fire back and get 2 of their own, and now all of a sudden you think Nootz could easily find a third and take themselves into the lead in the final minute. They've got to start linking up these passes backwards, going a little bit questionable coming out of Ximtra, and they've got to sort this out quickly.
Nice bit of sustained pressure there from Nootz. Doctor looking for the triple. I genuinely thought he was going to get it. It wouldn't have surprised me, to be honest, Astro. Probably been the least excited I've been today. Samurai maintains the pressure, trying to get a pop shot into the middle or on towards the net, but the disruption play. Backtracking now. All 3 want a touch, and Nootz will find their 3rd goal.
You might find Doctor in A&E after that one, taken off the field. The net wide open before Tinny collects it with a bit of a flick and spin in the air. Just add a few style points as Nootz get themselves into the lead, and I expected no less. Sucro coming into this final minute. They just felt like they finally came alive. They needed Ximtra to give them a bit of a kick, challenging them and getting a few goals in their own net in order to really take the fight the other end and really start doing some damage upfield. They've done that now. Back into the lead, 30 seconds. Unless there's a big mistake coming out of Nootz, I think they should have this one wrapped up, but it's only 1 goal.
Yeah, Ximtra find themselves stuck on the gurney at the minute. They need the Doctor to come and bail themselves out. He's on the ball, gonna get the shot. It's gonna bounce towards the post, and Hell maintains the pressure, but Tinny denying any opportunity. Ethereal does get it downfield. The Yellow Crab's not even hit 100 points yet, and like, what is that?
Shocking. Somebody get Freddy back in. Yellow Crab failed to make triple digits in the grand final in game 2. It doesn't matter though, his team Nootz got the victory. They made it a bit more difficult. When you look at the points on his 2 teammates, it really exaggerates quite the difference. Ethereal 512, Tinny 506, both of them scoring, both of them making saves. Yellow Crab, he got a save. He made a bit of a contribution there, Zucre. You can't count him out completely.
That's 50 of his points. The other 22 came from him touching the bench warmer. You could sub me in and they'd still win.
Shocking,
Nonetheless. Nootz find, these games are so tight, Astro. 1-0, 3-2. It's almost... It's these small mistakes again. I don't want to say that it's going to be back post rotations again, but it's the team who keeps sustaining that pressure that seems to be getting those goals. I mean, the games that are tight, it is small mistakes. I mean, the opening exchanges, I think, are going to be the key part of these upcoming games. Nootz proving too strong at the minute for this Ximtra side. I mean, the doctor's doing what he can, but there's only so much medicine he's got in his cupboard.
I think he's going to need a new delivery at this rate. They're taking more damage. Ethereal's going to find the back of the net very early on into game 3, and the wounds are starting to get ripped open, I think, to be honest. Like you say, Ximtra, they've got a great player in Dr. Med, but Nootz have just got so much individual talent, haven't they? And Ethereal's just such a fantastic player, and you see him again here, causing so many problems. They just can't keep him at bay.
Yeah, just confirm the Yellow Crab hasn't reached 10 points yet. We'll just put that there. We'll see how he gets on throughout the game. Hell and Ethereal in the midfield, clashing, tussling. Samurai trying to take it over the Yellow Crab. The Yellow Crab won't get any points for the save, by the way, so he's down to 6 at the moment. Tinny getting the ball forward. The Yellow Crab is there. He's looking for the points. He's looking for the goal. Hell with a save as Tinny's up, but not enough boost to get there. Samurai gets it downfield, but again, look how deep Ethereal already was for his Nootz side. He gets himself a boost and manages to keep the pressure on. I mean, he's still on the ball. They haven't even crossed the halfway line yet, Astro, and he's proving the difference maker. At the moment, the pass into Dr. Med in the box. It's not going to go unanswered. Ximtra find a way back.
Yeah, that's great stuff, isn't it? Samurai pushing Tinny across the net, feeding it into Dr. Med. A great chance created there. I think someone must have invited the old people's home to watch. Dynamite's popped up in the chat. I think somebody needs to brush a few cobwebs off him. Welcome back to the stream, old manager Dynamite. Maybe that's the power that Ximtra needed. A little bit of encouragement in the chat. If you want Ximtra to win, you need to get behind them right now, because they're having a rough time so far in this series, and Dr. Med needs all the help he can get. But Nootz back on the charge, looking for another Doomsday Dish coming off of the backboard. Not going to happen though for Tinny this time around, and Ximtra very, very fortunate to get away with that one.
Ethereal having to touch this one to the sideboard. The Doctor is up to get it. Yellow Crab now manages to get the touch. A bit shaky on the back line. It's bouncing all over the place. No one can get the touch. Hell will take control. Ximtra finally. Is that the first time they've taken the lead?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think it could be. Definitely could be the second. I haven't been keeping note. But can we just talk about Nootz for a second? This is the first time we've seen them have an absolute disaster at the back. Ethereal flailing around in the corner. Tinny on the goal line. Yellow Crab all over the place on the front post. And all three of them were well and truly beaten by that ball that dropped in front. They're very quick at though, coming back up the other end and nearly getting a goal for themselves. They just seem like they're not bothered about the defence anymore, Zukra. You wouldn't feel like it's a grand final. They're just throwing everything forward. The more goals, the better. This Tinny comes nosediving off the wall again, but doesn't win it this time around. And Ximtra starting to take hold a little bit in this game now. I think perhaps due to overconfidence from Nootz.
Yes, exactly that. They seem to be sort of stuck in the midfield from now. I mean, Nootz have tended to lie a bit deeper. I mentioned Ethereal's one touch at the back before the ball had even been sent down at field, but they're coming forward again. Tinny trying to get a touch into the box. Ethereal and Yellow Crab switching positions there just to keep the ball in this orange half. Samurai with this great second touch just to maintain control. But this is the change of pace that I spoke about. Ethereal just trying to take the ball, do something creative, change the pace of the game as the team bump comes in. The Doctor gets a touch over Yellow Crab. He's going to see if he can get another one, take it under his control, looking for the bump. Ethereal absolutely rooted, was not going to move from that one, but the passing plays. Ethereal pops it high, and the Yellow Crab will be there to meet it. But over the halfway point, Ximtra look a bit more comfortable than Nootz at this point, as it seems to hover in the midfield. Definitely enjoying the share of the goals. So if you're Nootz, do you just sort of try and find one back, maybe take it to overtime?
I think this is going to be a wake-up call for Nootz now. Yeah, I think absolutely. Look for that first goal, build on from there. Don't do anything crazy. We've seen them, I think, overcommitting a bit too much, giving away a few too many chances, and then just getting themselves all out of shape defensively in the rotation because of that aggressiveness to look to find goals and trying to be too confident on the ball. And yeah, this is a wake-up call for them now. Ximtra are here to play. They're not here to get swept out in this grand final. They've got to be a little bit more cautious work towards getting this first goal back, and then they'll go from there. That one's straight across the goal line, but Yellow Crab nowhere near close enough. Maybe Med can create something coming back the other way again for Ximtra.
A great pass from Dr. Med, but Ethereal going to be the first one to it. Samurai and the Doctor himself trying to get the touch, but it's well played from the Doctor. Going to carry it out over all of them. Now it's Hell and the Doctor in a 2v1, but the pop too high. Tinny does get it towards his own corner. As Ximtra, you know, they're looking for those passes. They're finding their teammates some more, and they're getting the shots on goal, Astro. That's why they find themselves in the lead. They've definitely had more shots than Nootz, but Nootz just struggling to get it out the back for, you know, longer periods of this match than they have in the entire series.
Yeah, they find a couple of passes out the back downfield there, then you get a link-up play with someone getting on the end of it, and after that it kind of just runs flat again. Hell just gets time to take control of that one before Tinny is a little bit late. This one's dropping quite nastily. Ethereal couldn't quite get that second touch, and it wasn't the easiest opportunity. It has to be said, all that Ximtra have to do is keep the ball in this blue half for 15 more seconds, and they've got themselves a win in the grand final. At least the first game on the board. The net's wide open, the shots towards target. Yellow Crab will get a few more points to turn it away with his claws, but clinging on to a defeat is the only way this team are going. One more shot on target. Dr. Med finds it. That is going to be a Ximtra 3-1 win in game number 3.
Yeah, this is much more like the Ximtra we saw in the previous series, just not letting up on the pressure. And, you know, they've rewarded themselves here with 3 goals. I think if there's going to be a confidence shift, then it just happened for Ximtra to drag themselves back in this series. I mean, they're now 2-1 down in the series, which is a lot better than 3-0 and series point. Astro, Ximtra just need to maintain this pressure.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think massive for them to get this win now, as we saw, you know, in that previous series between RL Island and Ximtra, where once you get 3 games down, it becomes very difficult. But I think, you know, 2 and then you pull one back, it's absolutely there. You know, they win the next game. It's all level pegging again going into that final with basically a best of 3 to play. So this is the best time for them to win. They got the job done, and all 3 players contributing nicely. But, you know, I'm really interested to see now how Nootz kind of adapt to this and how they come out in the next game, because it wasn't really the best performance from them. And other than a good goal from Ethereal, they looked a bit flat in offense as well.
Yeah, they didn't have too much on the creative side this time around as they have had in the previous 2 games. I think Ximtra's defense, it can also be argued that they held more, obviously solid. I mean, I was looking for a particular word to put on it, but Ximtra, you know, they held solid in defense. They've scored 3 goals. They've given themselves the confidence to move on in the series. They just need to keep up this pressure. Nootz just need to go back to basically what they were doing. Keep it simple, change the pace of the game, and then when you're on your own, try and do something creative.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for them, getting that early goal is important, but they got it last time, and then the defensive slips up. I think they've always got to make sure that, you know, no matter how many goals they're ahead, that they keep making sure they have that rotation, they have a player back, that they're playing on the side of caution, because we know how quickly Dr. Med is so good at controlling the ball, getting it past the player and delivering it downfield. Here's Samurai taking a touch, taking his time. The Yellow Crab's going to say, I'm going to take that if you're going to take all day, and gives Nootz the offense back once again.
Ethereal trying to get started in the opening exchanges. Tinny can only pass it to the Doctor, who will put it back into the midfield. But again, the rotations coming in from Nootz in the midfield are very, very tight and compact. It's only, you know, a big long ball that gets past that as Hell almost gets the second touch. Just disaster in defence at the moment for Nootz, but they do get it cleared. That finally Yellow Crab beats it downfield, but Hell can only get it up towards the roof. Tinny's coming down looking for the double, and when there's an open net, Astro, you only have to touch it.
That's criminal though, isn't it? It's criminal. Nootz have to concede up the other end. All 3 players committing on that front post, leaving the net wide open, and then they go up the other end and they do this. And Tinny just delivers that out of nowhere, drops it in over the top of Samurai, and they give themselves the lead. And this is what I was talking about in the previous game. You know, Ximtra have got to play well as a team, but Nootz just have that individual quality to pull out some banging goals. Ethereal, not exactly the best goal, but it's a tap-in. It's another goal on the score sheet. They don't care. 2-0 already, not even a minute gone.
Yeah, it's almost what a save worthy from Hell, but I think the shot was one of those ones where you think it's going to come at you quicker, so you've gone up way, way, way in advance, but then it's been slow played in, or in this case, over you. But nonetheless, Nootz 2-0 up. Much better performance from Nootz. apart from that defensive positioning. Tinny going to get it downfield. Ximtra definitely need to get their defensive rotations in to check. Doctor will have another touch off the wall, manages to take it downfield. Good speed from Hell as well, but the second touch just proving awkward for Dr. Med. Samurai now takes control, forces Tinny up to get rid of it, looking for the double, but Ethereal again just perfectly placed to get rid of it. Here come the passing plays. The Yellow Crab up to Ethereal in the corner off the chop, but there we go. Dr. Med at the back line. It could have been one of the goals of the season in the Challenger Grand Finals, but it wasn't to be. Dr. Med just not letting anything go. 3.5 minutes on the clock. So only 2 goals in it, but Ximtra have to find something quickly.
Yeah, they do. They've been on the back foot for quite a while now. They had to get a shot on target in this game. They've really got to step up the offense. Dr. Med's been quiet before that save. Maybe he can deliver something here, though. And Hell has denied Dr. Med, his teammate, the chance of a fantastic goal. He'd already faked out one defender, and I think his teammate wasn't quite aware of it. But that is a sloppy mistake. You've got to trust your teammates in a grand final if you want to take home the trophy. And right now, Ximtra doing what they can to get forward, but the synergy seems to have disappeared a little bit coming off the backboard again, but immediately delivered downfield into the path of Ethereal by Tinny. Dr. Med once again getting it clear, but the synergy not quite there. The performance is lacking, and Nootz taking control once again. Look at Tinny, the dribble's still going. The back of the net is the only place that's going. Nootz 3-0 up.
I mean, just one touch. I mean, the ball is glued to the front of that car, and he's just went over all of them. Wow. Tinny proving that Nootz are here to play. Astro, that could be the goal that seals the 3-1 in the series, but the double demo coming out, waiting for the spawns to come in. Hell will get a touch into Samurai, but the defense lines up in time to get rid of it. Ethereal. Oh my god, that's a fantastic shot, but Tinny just absolutely carrying this Nootz squad at this moment in time. The Doctor's going to try and get an air dribble of his own, but he can only get it as far as Yellow Crab. Great touch though, but Tinny tracks back in time to get rid of it. Again, Ximtra not without their periods of pressure. Astro just not really doing anything with it. They've only had the 2 shots compared to the 5 on 6 on Nootz and the 4th goal as well. But Nootz blowing Ximtra out the water in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the end of the Samurai Sword just looking a bit blunt for Ximtra. You know, they're making the lunges, they're making the stabs, but there's no wounds being created. And normally Doctor's there to patch them up defensively, but he can't do everything. And right now they're just struggling under the weight of what is Tinny taking control of the game. You know, he's everywhere, all over the field. We've seen him make 2 huge saves now. He's got 2 goals as well, 2 very good goals, to say the least, as Dr. Med makes another vital save. But when you've got a 4-goal deficit to try and build back, it's a lot of work from Ximtra in a minute and a half. And it's not looking likely, especially with the demolitions coming out and how confident this Nootz team look.
Samurai doing what he can. Ethereal gets that up. It's a great pass to Tinny off the backboard. Tinny, don't just behave yourself. Someone put a leash on him. Looking for the 5th. Doctor will get it away. The Yellow Crab is there. Gets the touch as well. It's over Hell, but Hell does manage to get the touch. Good clear from Samurai downfield, but again, with a minute to play, you've got a goal every, 15 seconds? It just looks so unlikely. They might get 1 or 2, but I don't see any more than that. I mean, to be honest, if you're going to do that, then you're going to concede.
Samurai might have bought himself a lottery ticket on the way back. Yellow Crab just dropping that one for him. Tinny wanted it as well, and I think maybe the ball chasing tendencies taking over just a tad. If Tinny had been patient, he could have swept that one up after the missed touch from Yellow Crab. But still a lot of work to do, Zucro. Still only a minute. They need 3 more, and they've at the minute got 4 shots. That is enough if they can all find themselves in the back of the net. So far it's not been the case. Dr. Med, though, cutting across and getting in the way of Samurai and just ruining that rotation, puts them in a much, much worse position as the pressure continues to mount. Yellow Crab getting a demolition as well, and the pressure is all Nootz. It's not looking good. Tinny's looking for that hat-trick. He can't quite find it off the read. Yellow Crab dropping towards the crossbar. Still doesn't hit the back of the net, but this is all Nootz. One-way traffic.
Tinny's just going for clips. It's unreal. Ximtra's not even there. The man's in free play. Look at him. Unreal. 17 seconds on the clock. Nootz definitely coming away with this one. You're not getting... Oh, hang on. Yellow Crab with a save. Ximtra looking for a second. Maybe a confidence boost, Astro, but series point for Nootz. It looks scary for Ximtra. They have to figure out what they're doing wrong.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, this is a grand final. And Nootz are one win away from taking the whole series, despite the fact that Ximtra are going to put in another last-minute goal from Dr. Med. It's not going to change the outcome of this one, as Ethereal just was flying past the ball despite Yellow Crab's initial block. Tinny, though, just dominant from start to finish. He was all over the field, maybe getting a little bit carried away at times and trying to hit a few too many clips, but they just couldn't stop him. It was Ethereal earlier on, and now it's Tinny, and Ximtra, they've got to start dealing with this individual quality because it's just ruining them.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Ximtra are doing anything wrong. Ximtra just... Nootz just seemed too strong. My apologies. I feel like they have to get that defense in check. It's something to be feared. I think Nootz are taking advantage. Tinny's going for clips. I mean, we saw the air dribble, which isn't necessarily a defensive misplay, but the man is playing with confidence. You have to shut down probably all three of these players on Nootz, to be honest, because with the confidence that they're showing at the minute, it makes it extremely difficult for Ximtra to do anything. I mean, Nootz scored 4 goals and then started going for clips. Tinny, more so than anyone else, and Dr. Samurai and Hell just could not get anything going.
Yeah, and now they've got all the pressure on them again. As you step into the void, Zucro. It's been a while since I've seen that, and it's certainly nice to see it not on my camera and on yours instead. Oh, you're back. You've pulled yourself away before it's too late. I wish Ximtra could do the same thing, because they're slipping well and truly into the Tinny and Ethereal void. And I mean, they need to win 3 back-to-back now against this really good team. Can they do it? They've shown glimpses, haven't they? But they really need to score consistently.
Yeah, they've taken a game off this Nootz side. I mean, they're more than capable of taking the final requirements, but, you know, they best have their climbing boots, Astro, because this mountain's getting tougher and tougher. They need that first goal, and if they're going to stop Nootz, then they have to stop that man, Tinny.
Yeah, they definitely do, and if he doesn't start stepping up, Ethereal might take over. Yeah, maybe Yellow Crab might get up out of his chair and show up at some point in this grand final. They've not particularly needed it. That's not to say he's been poor by any stretch, but he's certainly not been as flashy as the other two have. And Dr. Med now is a better time than ever. He's been a carry all season long. They need him in this potentially final game, and they definitely don't need him demolitioned and back in his own half. That is for sure. He's pulled out the Dominus, though, and look at this. He's going for the backboard read. It's wide of the target. Can't quite find it, but a nice early bit of confidence coming out from Ximtra.
Yeah, Dr. Med doing exactly what Ethereal and Tinny were doing last game, just holding B, going for the ball. I think, you know, if you're going to beat Nootz, play them at their own game. They're probably not used to it. Samurai in the Batmobile. Another long boy for this Ximtra side. Doctor there again, just getting a touch on it. The man has, honestly, every time I've seen him, has had no boost because he's used it. Getting to the ball. Tinny up to meet it. Does get the flip off the ceiling and a touch past the Doctor himself, the Yellow Crab. Opting not to take this one. Ethereal gets it in. Whoa, that was close, but Doctor will get disrupted in the process. Hell going to get a shot, which, you know, we've had 2 demos there from Nootz, but unfortunately on defense. So all it does is get them out, or at least get them to reset, get some breathing space. 3 and a bit minutes on the clock. Yellow Crab not able to get it. Ximtra find the opening goal.
Sat on the perspective of the goalkeeper here, thinking he's got this all day long. He's got this. He's got this. The ball's still coming. He's not got this. And Ethereal can't save it either. That is the purpose of the back post player. I mean, Yellow Crab should be getting there, but Ethereal definitely should be if Crab can't. And the fact that that slipped through and Hell's found the back of the net. Maybe there is hope for Ximtra yet in this series if mistakes come out like that from Nootz. Look at the confidence now as well from Hell as Dr. Med's waiting to collect it. On that left-hand side, he drops it into the middle from Samurai. It's still in the mixer if they can deliver another one to the centre. Hell opts to turn away. He's not going to commit as that third man. He deals with the ball back from Tinny, and they're going to be under pressure themselves now, but in a much better position now, being 1-0 up, and a good goal from Ximtra.
Yeah, much more controlled performance from the boys in orange. The pass, the finish. What a goal that is from Ximtra. Doctor again. Just up to meet it, and Samurai, you know, we saw Nootz do this in the other games, Astro, but Ximtra showing that they can hang as well.
Yeah, Tinny's so slow off of that goal line in the net. He just reacted so late, and they'll take full advantage of that. And I think this is where Dr. Med delivers best, and this is what we saw from him in the last series, is not necessarily scoring the goals, but just setting them up for his teammates, putting the balls in, putting them in dangerous areas. Eventually, if Hell and Samurai get there enough times, they'll score, and that's exactly what's happened here now. On a couple of occasions, they're going to have to perhaps need a few more, though. I think that you won't count Nootz out from getting at least 1 goal on the score sheet, so I wouldn't put it past them to sit back at 2-0. They're going to need a bit more than that, I think, as Tinny gets demoed. Ximtra looking confident, coming forward again.
Yeah, much more confident. Ximtra's side, again, like I said, much more control, taking their time when they've got the ball, much like Nootz were doing fantastic from hell just to get it over Ethereal, who's been doing it all series long. Samurai takes it into the corner, but the pinch comes out. Oh my god, what a save from hell at the back post. Ximtra just controlling the game at the moment, making sure their rotations are on point. They've got themselves 2 goals. They don't need to push any more buttons. You know, they just need to keep knocking on the door. The further they can keep the ball away from their own goal, the more likely it is that they're going to win this game. Hell with the 50. The bumps coming in now from this blue side. Nootz trying to get the shot on Samurai. Good save again, but Ximtra all over Nootz at the moment. Nootz looking run ragged at the moment, Astro.
Yeah, they're definitely struggling at the minute. We are seeing them get a spell of attacking pressure here, though, but Ximtra just got to keep hold of the ball, and that's an uncharacteristic miss as well from Ethereal, who's pushing too high up the field. Tinny's going to get bumped, and we've not seen many bumps from Ximtra all night, and they're pulling them off consistently now in this game. Shows they're feeling confident. Oh my goodness, how's that gone in straight off the crossbar from a pinch, and Samurai finds himself Ximtra's 3rd goal of the game.
I just had to process what had just happened. It's so unfortunate for Ethereal. I mean, what do you do in that situation? The ball's just sort of bounced off you. I think he's tried to jump to give it as much upward momentum as he can. Obviously unable to get it onto a better side of the bar at least, but Ximtra coming forward, looking for the drop down dot off the 50 with Tinny. But Tinny will get it downfield, the yellow crab up to beat hell to that one. Tinny is there as well, tries to read it on the drop down. And Ethereal will get beaten to that one, but Tinny just trying to drag his team back into offense, maintain the pressure as Doctor's not going to get a nice touch there. But Ethereal will get 2 into the corner, but Nootz just looking too spread out when you talk about that triangle. Astro just unable to maintain the sharp corners. Ethereal with a great back post rotation just to get rid of any opportunity. Samurai just slowing the game down, and this is what Ximtra have to keep doing, Astro. They slow the game down when they don't need the offensive pressure. 45 seconds remain. They're in a fantastic position. They don't need to overcommit, and they don't have to risk anything.
Oh, that's a great pass down as well. Samurai just getting blocked out before he could take it. But yeah, absolutely, they're really slowing this down, causing problems. Nootz like to play at this fast pace. Look at that from Tinny. Can't quite find the back of the net, but a fantastic effort as he tried to pull the breezy out, but didn't quite make it happen. And I think that might be all she wrote for Nootz. The one opportunity. That's actually the only shot all game that Nootz have had. That is the first shot from Nootz coming in over 4 minutes of gameplay. It's a really great performance from Ximtra. A thoroughly professional throughout. They might concede right at the end, and Tinny's missed it. He's missed an absolute sitter. Has summed up the performance from Nootz in this game. A great victory by Ximtra in game number 5.
Yeah, if it's not a breezy, you can't score it, right? Yellow crab trying to pull one back for Nootz. What a performance from Ximtra. If you're going to drag yourself back into this series, give yourself the confidence boost. I mean, I spoke about that momentum shift in Ximtra. You know, like you said, they're here to play, and that's exactly what they've just done.
Yeah, a great performance. I didn't even realise either until that last minute how little shots they'd had Nootz on target. Ethereal had a good defensive performance other than that one back post mishap, but he did make up for it. But offensively, they had nothing. Tinny didn't really deliver much at all. One shot, that is it from that breezy. And Yellow Crab, just a single save on the board is all he had as well. And Samurai, nice bit of commitment from him. 2 goals, 2 assists from Dr. Med. Great bit of teamwork. And I'd be a little bit worried now if I was in the Nootz camp, because that was a really top performance.
Yeah, I think not a performance that I necessarily expected to be done so cleanly from Ximtra. Nootz just sort of played at their own game there. Ximtra slowing the game down, much that we saw Ethereal and Yellow Crab do in the early stages of the series, and Ximtra showing, you know, that sometimes it's okay to take a leaf out of your opponent's book and do exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, we got a disconnect as well, I think, briefly from Samurai. We should be quickly back into the game. That might slow down Ximtra's momentum a little bit. It's not something they're going to like to see, but yeah, they're straight back in. I think they're ready to get this game underway. Remember, though, Nootz is still at 1 game away. You know, Nootz, all they got to do, put a few balls in the back of the net, score like they have done all season long, and that's it. Job done. But Ximtra are going to make it so difficult for them, and you've got to say, Samurai and Hell really stepped things up in the last 2 games.
Here we go, Ximtra looking to find the opening goal. Hell in Ethereal 50 in the midfield. A free net for Dr. Med. Ximtra will take that all-important lead, Astro. And I did mention that if they come out strong in these games, they can keep that momentum going.
Oh, I've never seen Crab turn so quickly from that boost pad that he wanted in the corner, but nothing he could do about it. I think it was, not actually quite sure, might have been Ethereal who missed that midfield 50 and just allowed them that free shot all the way through. Nootz looking for one of their own back, but that is a great start for Ximtra. That's exactly what they want, and it just plants that seed of doubt, doesn't it, a little bit further into the minds of Nootz as Ethereal and Tinny pulling out another double commit. Dr. Med in trouble, but there's nothing he can't prescribe to get himself out of danger as another whiff comes through from Yellow Crab. And Nootz looking a little bit nervous, it has to be said. And look at this link-up. Look at that pass. Look at the goal from Ximtra taking charge of this game and the series, and 2-0 up already.
Yeah, if you're a Ximtra fan, this just gets better and better. If you're a Nootz fan, not so much. Ximtra scored 2 in the opening minute. Astro, you know, they've got 2 more to go to match the record of the last series, and they'll come forward again through Samurai. Ethereal tries to get the bump, but it's going to be a 50 here in the corner. Bounces favourably for Ximtra. That's a long clear. Tinny just enjoying the open nets, and that's not ideal for Ximtra. Still in the lead, but you can't leave the net that open, Astro.
Yeah, I think that's gonna throw a spanner in the works for Ximtra now. They've got to realise that they can't just go crazy. They're fired up, and that can happen when you're really getting into the swing of things. And Nootz needed that as a bit of a lifeline. It's going to give them some confidence. Tinny's going to feel much better now. He's got a goal in this game to take charge of it. And now it's up to Ximtra to make sure they don't let that one goal affect them, and then they don't allow Nootz to start coming up the field, because that's where Nootz love to be. That's how good they are. Look at Ethereal trying to find that touch onto the backboard to get it down. Hell cuts it out on as it hits the ground, but wow, look at this. Nootz starting to come to life as well. Ethereal pulling out some demos, and I feel like we might start to see a momentum shift here, Zucro.
Definitely on the cards. Dr. Med just prescribing goals left, right, and centre. It's not even a minute and a half into the game. This man is on a hat trick, doing everything he can for his side. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time right now, Astro. 3-1 for Ximtra. Nootz with a lot to do, but still on series point.
Yeah, I think that's an important goal as well, to just shut down Nootz in their track. And like you say, Dr. Med just in the right place, finishes it, beats the defenders. Always quickest to the ball, it seems like, at the moment, as Ethereal recovers this one out of his own corner with a bit of a half flip and carries it into the midfield. Yellow Crab's waiting as well if he can find him. There is a block in there from one of the Ximtra players as Dr. Med sends it all the way back downfield with a huge pinch. There's no one there, it's wide open. Dr. Med gets a 4th goal for Ximtra, and what has happened to Nootz here?
Just coming in with a cocktail pinch, and just it's the overcommit in the corner. Both Ethereal and Yellow Crab sitting with each other in the corner, doing nothing, leaves the net open, allows Ximtra and Dr. Med a 4th goal. Now, 3 minutes to go. It's 100% doable for Nootz, but this Ximtra side is looking scarily confident. They're rotating well. Samurai's there, just trying to put it in the corner. Dr. Med's there. He's got a shot. The bump! Ximtra are beginning to run away, Astro.
Oh, this is a little bit concerning, isn't it? If you're a Nootz fan, what is going on here? 5 shots from Dr. Med, 5 goals, 667 points, and we're not even halfway through this game yet. He's looking on for 4 digits, and Nootz in a big amount of trouble now. Well, this is looking like it's heading to Game 7, and we're not even halfway through. The mountain of all mountains, it's been climbed. They've made the top. They've dethroned Mount Everest. And now Nootz have got so much work to do coming back the other way.
Yeah, Mount Everest with 4 goals to find. Oh my god, disaster at the back. Not what you want to see if you are a Nootz fan. You know, they've managed to register more shots than they did last game. Heck, they even scored one. Samurai, 15 it into the midfield. Hell going to pop it up high, and Dr. Med will not go for that one. No need to overcommit when you're 5-1 up in one of the matches for the grand final. I was going to say in the grand final, but that's not attacking it. Dr. Med with a banger towards the top bin, but it's going to hit the post. Ethereal does get it past to Tinny. Tinny versus Dr. Med, a 1v1 that I want to see after this grand final. Ethereal and Hell combining. Hell looking for the double. Tinny has to go. He's missed the shot. Samurai is there, and it's 6 for Ximtra. Sixtra.
Nootz could touch the promised land, couldn't they? They'd almost made it to heaven. But first you've got to get through hell, and he's going to deliver a fantastic ball, dropping into the mixer. Samurai gets himself, like you say, his first goal of the game. It's nice to see those two getting involved and helping out what has been an absolutely dominant, destructive performance from Dr. Med with his 5 goals on the board. And Ximtra, we're not done yet. There's still another 2 minutes in this game. You talked about double digits earlier on. This is the most possible game it's ever been. We're not going to see Tinny, Yellow Crab and Ethereal embarrass that badly to a double-digit scoreline in a grand final, surely.
It looks like Game 4 was a port key because, you know, all it's been since then is destruction from Ximtra.
Oh, it's going to get worse.
Oh my god. Do you know what, actually? It's so nice to see Ximtra playing with this much confidence. I mean, Nootz came into this series strong. We thought it was going to be a runaway when they took as many games as they did off the bat, but this Ximtra side are something to be feared, and the only team in their way at the moment is this Nootz side.
Yellow Crab looking like David Luiz as the Brazil now in full effect, and they're not done yet, coming forward for more. 8 is on the cards. The bump on the goal line is good, and the shot's even better. Samurai gets a hat-trick, 3 assists as well. 8-1 Ximtra.
Absolutely unreal. 5 goals for the Doc, 3 for Samurai, 3 assists for Samurai, and that man Hell with 5 assists, no shots. What a playmaker he is, you know. Tinny just, like, it's all Ximtra. How do we commentate for Nootz when they're scoring for fun?
Oh, no.
Oh my god, 9-1 in Game 6 of a grand final.
Oh, that pass is absolutely immaculate from Dr. Med right into the path of Samurai and just gives him a little bit of a gap to get that flick and get all the power behind it. 4 goals for Samurai, 5 for Dr. Med, 5 assists from Hell. The ball's trickling close. I'm nervous. It could be 10. There's still a minute left in this game.
It's going to be 10. I've got hopes. To be honest, it's Samurai and Dr. Med fighting for MVP, not fighting for a championship. Dr. Med looking for the points to give him that MVP. Look at that. Look how deep Nootz are going back into that goal. Never mind back post. It's back at the net to make sure the ball goes nowhere near it. 42 seconds, Astral. 1 goal for the 10. It's drifting into the mid, but Ethereal gets it clear. The confidence flowing for Ximtra. So nice to see. 30 seconds for the last goal, Astral. But, you know, Nootz trying to do something for their confidence, but Hell just not having it. Hell hath no fury.
Samurai's had some fantastic saves as well. His armour keeping the shots at bay, but they're just trying to cling on, aren't they? They're just trying to keep hold of the ball. Tinny doesn't want to see it go to 10. There's another good chance here if Ethereal can dunk it. Can't quite make it, but Tinny will keep it under control. They'll save that double-digit embarrassment unless this one's going to go downfield quickly. Yellow Crab shot. Not going to beat Dr. Med. This one should be heading its way to the floor. It's still up. Samurai is in the middle. Yellow Crab's missed it. Tinny's kept it on the goal line. Samurai's going to finish it off. He's let him have goal number 10. 10-1 in a Game 6 grand final. Game 7 coming up next.
The sportsmanship from Tinny just to keep that one up. Allow the 10 goals for Ximtra. We'll call it 9 because Tinny's given them the last one. What? Like, you know, Ximtra, right, have played a phenomenal game of Rocket League. Nootz, what the hell just happened?
I don't even know what you do. I don't know. I've never lost 10-1 in a final, I can tell you that, thank goodness.
Rub it in!
I don't know how you pull yourself back from that. I mean, it's difficult enough to pull yourself back when, you know, Nootz had basically had this series done and dusted. They were in charge. They were 3-1 up. It looked like it was done. It looked like Ximtra didn't have a chance. Now they've just buried 10 goals in the back of that blue net in 5 minutes. It's a goal every 30 seconds. And now Nootz have to pull themselves back. It is a clean slate. It is a fresh reset. It is 0-0, but 10 goals. I mean, Ximtra have got to be feeling so confident.
I mean, the scoreline speaks for itself. If anybody is just joining us, just an FYI, it's a grand final. We've honestly got no clue what we've just seen. 10-1 to Ximtra on Game 6. And Nootz, I don't know who this favours more. Because if I was a Nootz player, I would be absolutely furious. But if I'm a player on Ximtra, I'm like, we've won.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mobs went for a shower. It was looking all bleak for his side. He came back and all of a sudden they've gone crazy. But you imagine it's even worse for Ximtra. Imagine if Ximtra lose now after winning 10-1 in game number 6. pulling it all the way back just to get beaten in Game 7 would make it, even more interesting in terms of the final result, but a little bit painful given, how badly they just took down Nootz in game number 6. Let's see what they can do here. That's a sloppy touch from Ethereal as well, going to give Med the shot. The net still not looking fully covered. Hell trying to get one in there. Samurai doesn't follow up because Med goes first, and already Nootz under quite a bit of pressure.
Yeah, you could say that it was a bit fairly hectic, but I think there was more hectic on offense. I mean, the defense looked relatively controlled there for Nootz. Everybody seemed to know what they were doing. It looked a bit awkward, I would say, but nonetheless, they're holding strong, which I think, if you're on Nootz, right, you've passed the first 30 seconds without a goal. That probably means they're not going to score 10 this game. Game 7 of the Challenger Grand Finals. It all comes down to this. Hell looking for the post and finds it. But Tinny will get it away. Astral, 4 minutes left. Will we see an overtime? Because we don't have an opening goal. Oh my god, they beat it by a second. Ximtra will find the opening goal in 1 minute, 1 second.
I mean, that's shocking from Tinny there, isn't it? Just delivering it across the midfield in front of his own goal when Yellow Crab was never in a position to get up for that. And then it left Ethereal in an impossible situation to try and block that shot and stop the oncoming Samurai charge. I mean, it's a very, very difficult one. And we've seen Tinny have some great goals and some great performances in this series. That touch, not one of them. And Ximtra looking to come on the charge again. They've still got that momentum, Zucro. And Nootz, for all their individual ability, it just seems crushed. The morale is completely gone. It's in the gutter as Tinny flings it out from behind the goal line. But, this is a difficult one. It's going to be very, very hard from here.
Nootz with it all to do. Plenty of time to do so. The Yellow Crab looking for the 50. Doesn't fall for Tinny there, the third man. But Ximtra just, throwing themselves at everything, throwing the kitchen sink at it. As Samurai will get it away. Ethereal carrying the ball down. Gets another touch as well. It's going to be awkward for the Doc, but he does get the touch over Tinny. And the Yellow Crab will have to backtrack to get the touch. It's popped high by Hell. Ethereal and the Yellow Crab double committing. The Yellow Crab does get the touch, but there's no one there for Ximtra. It's getting worse for Nootz. It definitely looks a bit tentative. They seem to be playing on nerves at the moment, Astro. And if you're a Ximtra fan, seeing this control performance so far in this game, it is very, very worrying, even at 1-0.
Yeah, it's still a little bit concerning. 1-0 never fills you with good confidence. Nootz only had one shot, though, and like you say, it's even worse for them right now. Another goal for Ximtra would go down a treat, I think, and would really put things in perspective from Nootz on how down they are. But look at that from Tinny off of the ceiling, dropping like a rocket to fire that one into the back of the net and puts Nootz back on level terms.
Yeah, Samurai just not up quick enough. Tinny managed to read the touch from Ethereal's attempted flip reset just to put it over the last defender. There was a bump as well, taking out any chance of the save. But a tied game at the half. Hell getting a touch towards net, but Yellow Crab kick-off rotation perfect to prevent the shot. Shot coming in from Dr. Med. Hell keeping it alive into the corner, looking for a teammate in the middle. The Yellow Crab is there with a fantastic touch just to take it away from any opposing players. Samurai now up high, trying to get the bump. Hell will have to go for it, but it's past the net as Ethereal with no boost in the tank. Going to track back towards the back post, but this is Ximtra pressure. Samurai's up, unable to get the touch. Key moment in the match there, Astro, missed by Samurai. Have the nerves started to settle in now that Nootz have equalised?
That could be a crack starting to show. I think that was a goal. I think if he hits that, it's a goal. 90% of the time, it's a goal. Dr. Med with a good chance sends it too high again. Another follow-up from Samurai. What a save from Tinny, who's starting to come to life. He's looking a bit animated. 4 saves and got that equalising goal as well. They're still under a lot of pressure, but all the chat is behind Nootz. They want Nootz to finish this one out and put Ximtra to bed, but the pressure just keeps coming. Look at Dr. Med trying to find the redirect. This thing makes things very, very difficult. Samurai with a follow-up touch. Hellcock get it under the bar, and still they can't find the back of the net. 8 shots on the board now, Zucro. Here comes Med again, though.
Yeah, a minute 10 left on the clock. It's do or die now for both teams. Even into the last minute. Tinny finally gets it downfield. The Yellow Crab going to get an attempted touch. Dr. Med going to beat him there. As Ethereal looking for the ceiling flip reset. Samurai with the 50. Bouncing in this orange half, and it's played right downfield. The Yellow Crab will have to get a touch. Samurai's there for the drop down. Dr. Med with a shot, but it's too high. Again, a touch met from the blue team. Takes it over and past the goal frame. Samurai with a shot. Ethereal avoids the bump. Tinny gonna come on, gets the save, but it's popping out. It's drifting. Ethereal can't get the touch, and Ximtra take the lead with 30 seconds left.
Oh my goodness, how has that gone in? Samurai just slots it, makes the block. The momentum still carrying Ethereal from his perspective. He must be a whisker away. I bet he's even touched it on his screen. That is criminal if it cost them the series from here. Nootz need a goal, 34 seconds. They've had 2 shots all game, Zucro. Tinny's one solo chance was really all they've created. They're under pressure again. They've got to get it downfield. They've got to do it now. They've got talent. Now's the time to show it.
Dr. Med up to mid at 20 seconds. Nootz, you've got to get the ball down the field. Tinny does exactly that. Samurai manages to get the touch, and Hill will take it to the corner. 10 seconds on the clock. The missed touch from Tinny, but he gets it under control. Dr. Med's there. Tinny's going all the way. Samurai will get the touch, and as it's drifting, Ethereal keeps it up. Samurai is going to leave the ball. Ethereal's there looking for the touch. The yellow crab scores. We got overtime.
Oh, I can't believe that. They needed a goal. They left it as late as they possibly could. You always thought there was a chance, but Dr. Med in the way. Surely not. Yellow Crab has been the quietest man on the field all night, but his little claws have grabbed hold of that one and slotted it into the back of the net.
Overtime looming. Samurai and Ethereal, sorry, Dr. Med going to combine in the midfield. Samurai and Yellow Crab. Just every time this ball is loose, there's 2 people on it. Tinny will get it down field. Dr. Med now takes control. Unlimited time. Golden goal. 20 seconds past. Hell keeping it alive for Ximtra, but no one there to get a shot on towards the net. Dr. Med just getting a soft touch, trying to get it under control, which he does beautifully as well. Goes all the way across. A disruption play now. Ethereal beats out Hell, looking for the bump up high, but it is Dr. Med. You're not going to get that one for free. Samurai gets it down the field now. Here come the boys in orange. It's popped up high. Tinny will have to get the touch. Hell with a vital touch there coming off the double commit. But again, back and forth, Ashel. It's going to be the tail of this overtime.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one, isn't it? Let's see how long it goes on for, how much the pressure gets to these 2 teams. Nootz have had 3 shots all game, and yet 2 of them have found the way into the back of the net. You've got to say they've been efficient when it's been required. To say how much pressure they've been under. Here comes Dr. Med again, trying to force it through Ethereal, but not going to happen. Blocked out in that corner. Tinny with a counter chance. The Samurai throwing his car on the line. This is bouncing dangerous. Med there again to turn it away. Still in front of the goal line. A shot from Ethereal. Aiming for the corner flag more than the goal. Not sure what he's doing with that one, but Ximtra sigh a breath of relief as they get the ball back downfield.
Yeah, it's back and forth. Ethereal Hell is trying to get there. Ethereal did try and get the pass off. Gets the flick. Oh. That's an open net. They've done it. Nootz close it out in the overtime.
Oh, I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. 0 seconds to get it done. Ethereal over the top of Hell as last man drops it in. Your Season X Challenger champions. Give it up for Nootz.
What an incredible series, and both teams deserve to take home the championship, Ashel, but only one will. Nootz. God, he gave us a scare, didn't he?
Oh, a scare and a half. That's got to be the most dominant game we've seen from a team in a very long time where they've not got it over the line. I mean, Ximtra had, I think it was upwards of 12, 13 shots, and we're talking Nootz just saying they had 3 and scored 2 of them. They finished with 4 and scored 3 of them. Yeah, they were clinical. They defended the pressure really, really well, and wow, what a turnaround. 0 seconds to win it. They've got to be going absolutely crazy right now. What a great performance from them to turn that around right at the end.
To go from 10-1 to even try and attempt to get the momentum in your favour, and then have the audacity to score a 0-second goal, and then the steel gonads to win it in the overtime. What a series, Astral. 10-1 to Ximtra to 3-2 overtime Nootz for the championship.
And Crab makes it his 3-time. God, did he make it difficult? A 0-second goal to keep his triple dream alive. And maybe the even numbers are the one for him, you know? 6, 8, now Season X. 10 in the bag as well. 3-time champion Yellow Crab. And wow, Nootz.
Don't play next season.
Don't play next season. Come back in Season 12. You might have a better chance of getting another victory. But it's a great series. I love the IEL playoffs. Every time we come to the Championship Sunday, there's always a spanner in the works. It never goes to plan. And another great game once again, another great series, and congratulations to Nootz on taking it all.
There is one talking point that I do want to talk about, and it's at the turn when it hit 0 seconds. Samurai was on the sidewall when the ball bounced. He opted not to go for it, which I almost feel, even though, I mean, you can say it because they've won the overtime, I almost feel that was the wrong play. He should have attempted to get the 50. He should have attempted to get the touch. It just allows Nootz to come forward and do exactly what they wanted to do, score, and take it to overtime.
I think the pieces were just meant to be. I think it was written in the script, wasn't it? I mean, that goal for Yellow Crab to score, it was the player on the goal line was Dr. Med. I mean, he's been phenomenal all day. He's been absolutely incredible, making saves left, right, and centre. You'd have put your money, you'd have put your savings on him making that save, and he doesn't make it. He goes sailing past the ball, and Yellow Crab equalises it with 0 seconds. You couldn't have written it, and I think, you know, even if Samurai made that touch, you never know where the ball's going. You thought Med would save it, and he didn't. And that's it. One small mistake, no matter how good you are, and Nootz take the championship.
I think it's tough luck for Ximtra in terms of, you know, they were down by 3 games. They bring it back to the game 7. In game 6, they win 10-1. They take the lead in game 7, but just can't hold on for literally just to put the ball on the floor. That's all they had to do, and they've lost the overtime because of it. It's extremely hard luck, but what a series of Rocket League.
Yeah, that was so much fun. It was really, really a lot of enjoyable stuff for me, and I'm sure for you as well, who's not been on the IEL stream in a long time. What a comeback that is for us, and they certainly delivered this series, didn't they? I want to say thanks for having us on tonight. We appreciate it. It was a great game, and thank you to the players, all the fans for watching. It was a really enjoyable game, and can't believe that's the end of the challenges.
Yeah, I know. Masters in 2 weeks, because next week I believe there's some RLCS, or there's a tournament on that prevents some of the Master players or bubble players from playing the Master playoffs. So they have been moved 2 weeks' time. It will start on Friday. I'm going to say 4 o'clock. Feel free to tell me Roth in the chat if it's wrong. But that's Challenger done. Nootz proved themselves worthy champions after Ximtra's 10-1 scare. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time.